Three of the biggest names in UFC history are facing legal storms that have nothing to do with what happens inside the octagon. From sexual assault allegations to a prison sentence, these cases have shaken the sport's image in ways fans can't ignore. Let's break down exactly what's happening with Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, and Cain Velasquez. We start with Alex Pereira, the man known as Poatan, a former two-division champion and one of the most feared strikers in UFC history. Behind the highlight reels, Pereira has spent the past year facing serious accusations from two different women. In July 2025, a German MMA presenter known publicly as Merle Christine filed a domestic violence case against Pereira in Miami. According to court documents, Christine alleges that during their roughly year-long relationship, Pereira engaged in controlling behavior, coercive sexual encounters, surveillance, and an incident where she says he restrained her and prevented her from leaving. She has also alleged that he tracked her movements and cut her off from friends and family. Pereira has firmly denied these claims. During a deposition given in January, he insisted he never assaulted Christine and disputed her account of being confined, saying the door was never locked. Christine is not the only woman to come forward. In 2024, a woman named Meredith Brown publicly accused Pereira of sexually assaulting her at a hotel in New Jersey following a UFC event. Pereira denied this as well, describing the encounter as consensual, and confirmed he gave a statement to police. Court records connected to the Miami case also revealed an older incident, one where Pereira reportedly spent 18 days in jail in Brazil more than a decade ago following a domestic dispute with his then-wife. He acknowledged the arrest but denied assaulting her, calling it a misunderstanding rooted in jealousy early in their relationship. It's important to note that none of these allegations against Pereira have resulted in a criminal conviction. The Miami civil case remains open, and Pereira continues to deny all wrongdoing. Still, the timing has been brutal for him, with these allegations resurfacing publicly just as he headlined one of the biggest cards of the year. Next, let's talk about Conor McGregor, arguably the most famous fighter the sport has ever produced, and a man who has faced his own share of legal battles far from the cage. McGregor's most serious legal defeat came from a civil case in Dublin, where a jury found him liable for sexual assault. That verdict came with a financial penalty of roughly $257,000, and when McGregor tried to appeal the decision, that appeal was ultimately dismissed, meaning the civil finding against him stands. Separately, McGregor faced another civil lawsuit tied to an incident that was alleged to have happened at a Miami arena during the 2023 NBA Finals. That case, however, took a different turn. The woman who filed the lawsuit voluntarily requested its dismissal, and the suit was dropped. So to be clear, that particular case never went to trial and was withdrawn by the person who brought it. McGregor has consistently denied wrongdoing across these cases, but the Dublin civil verdict remains the most consequential legal result he's faced, a jury decision that a court of appeals declined to overturn. Finally, there's Cain Velasquez, a former UFC heavyweight champion whose story is different from the other two, because this isn't about sexual assault allegations against him. It's about a father who took matters into his own hands. Back in February 2022, Velasquez learned that a man named Harry Goularty had been accused of molesting his 4-year-old son at a daycare facility. In response, Velasquez chased Goularty's vehicle for 11 miles through the streets of San Jose and opened fire multiple times with a handgun. He missed his intended target, but a bullet struck Goularty's stepfather, who was driving the car, wounding him. Velasquez was arrested shortly after and was eventually granted bail, spending years on house arrest while the case moved through the courts. In 2025, Velasquez pleaded no contest to charges including attempted murder, felony assault, and weapons violations. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, though he received credit for the time he had already spent in custody and under house arrest. Just this past February, in 2026, Velasquez was granted early parole and released after completing rehabilitative programs behind bars. As for the man he targeted, Harry Goularty, he continues to face a pending felony charge of committing lewd acts with a minor, meaning that underlying case that triggered the entire chain of events is still working its way through the courts. So here's where things stand right now. Alex Pereira is fighting an ongoing civil case in Miami while denying every allegation against him, with no criminal charges filed to date. Conor McGregor carries a civil liability finding out of Dublin that survived an appeal, while a separate Miami-based lawsuit was dropped before ever reaching trial. And Cain Velasquez has already served his sentence and walked free on parole, closing the door on a case that split public opinion right down the middle, some calling it justice for a father protecting his child, others calling it a dangerous act of vigilantism that hurt an innocent bystander. 3 very different situations, 3 very different outcomes, and 3 reminders that life outside the octagon can be just as unpredictable as anything that happens inside it. If you want us to go deeper into any one of these cases, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more UFC coverage you won't find anywhere else.